Hey Scrap Mart friends, this is Jen from the design team, and I'm happy to be back with you today working on a scrapbook layout page using my Sizzix Eclips machine. I finally have my own machine. The first several videos I filmed were using the Scrap Mart store prototype machine, so I was very happy to finally get my own machine. And I know it's been a while since I filmed a video. We've had a bit of a crazy end to the summer. My kids go back to school on Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to getting back into a routine and hopefully have more time to craft. But what I wanted to show you that I think is really great is the Eclips cartridge handbooks and the ability to store them. I know with other digital cutting cartridge-based systems like the Cricut, one of the main issues that everyone has with that machine is how to store the cartridges because the boxes and the handbooks are so bulky. But let me show you how great the Eclips cartridge storage system is. First of all, you can just use your regular large box that's meant to hold original large size dies or big dies. And when you open it up, you'll see that each cartridge comes with its own little protective case. This is just a hard plastic case that holds both the handbook and the cartridge, and it's got the title on here, so you can put 10 of these in one storage box. And these will also fit, if you don't care to use the storage boxes, you can also use those Jetmax cubes, the 4-drawer Jetmax cubes, and you can fit a whole bunch of them in each drawer. So storage for your cartridge is absolutely not a problem with the Sizzix Eclips machine. The cartridge I'm going to be working with today is the School and Sports cartridge. And let me just show you how cute these little handbooks are. I'm going to go ahead and take my cartridge out so we can use that later. Whoops. And I'll set this aside. Okay, I wanted to show you the handbooks because the size is pretty small, which is great for portability. And when you open it, it does open horizontally, but then you'll want to turn it vertically to see each shape that's available on the cartridge, and then also the creative features that are available for that particular shape. And again, the creative features are applied on a shape-by-shape basis, not on a cartridge-by-cartridge basis. So some images will have more options than others. For example, this drama club title with the masks can be cut in pieces, so you can cut each one individually. You can do a shadow, you can do a solid, whereas driver's ed, it looks like it's just giving you a title, a solid, and shadow option. So all of these are on here. Well, here's a baseball with a border option. Oh, that's really cute. Schoolhouse and so forth. But one of the aspects I love about the Eclips is you're really not tied to the handbooks when you have the remote. The remote allows you to flip through all of the images on a particular cartridge very quickly, very easily. You don't have to enlarge anything. It's already enlarged for you, so you can see exactly what's on that cartridge. But the shape or title we're going to be cutting today is First Day of School. And I'm sorry, hopefully I'm holding that where y'all can see it. We're going to be using the basic original cut and then the shadow cut. And the background to my scrapbook page is going to be this craft cardstock. So what I'm going to do is move my blade towards the middle of the page and cut out the shadow first, so I won't waste any paper. That's going to be covered up by some pattern paper I'm putting on top, and I don't need the background to be completely solid, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out the shadow for that image right now. So let me zoom in. Okay, so I'm going to load up my cartridge right into the remote and turn on my machine. And you actually can already have the machine turned on and then add your cartridge. There's no need to do that when the machine's off, but I did that just because I started. And I'm going to open up my screen and bring my remote over to the camera, so hopefully you can see this. And I know the resolution does not show up that great on camera, but we'll see what we can do here. Okay, it's giving me the choice of the school category or the sports category, and I'm going to hit OK for school because I know my image is pretty close to the front, and you can see I'm just scrolling over through all the images that are school related until I get to my title, First Day of School. I'm going to hit, actually since I'm doing the shadow, I'm going to use my left-right key to go over to the left column, scroll down to shadow. That's the image I want. Hit OK. It's picking a size of 3 inches for me right now. I'm going to go ahead and make that 3.5 inches. Hit OK. Add the plus sign. That adds it to my cutting queue. And once I load my mat, I'll be ready to cut. Okay, so my mat's loaded, but I want to move my blade over to somewhere near the center of the page because I'm going to use this craft paper as the background for my scrapbook page, and so I want the edges to be clean. So using the remote and the arrow key, I'm going to go down and I'll go over to about there. Move that. And I think that'll be a good cut around the center of the page. So now that everything's loaded, my blade and pressure are both set to 3. That should be more than enough to cut this cardstock. And I'm simply going to hit the scissors key on the remote, and that will start the cutting. Okay, it's done cutting, so I'm going to unload the mat. And let's take this off. Clean, clean cuts from the Eclips machine every time. Look at that. No snags. I want to show you this up close because this is really the best feature of this machine. It is the ability to give you the cleanest cuts that I have seen out of any electronic cutting machine that I've used. And I've used almost all of them that are on the market. This one gives me the cleanest cuts. I don't have to get in there with my fine tip scissors or my paper file and clean things up. It's just, even in the little details, crisp cuts. No snags, no tears. So I'm hoping that you can see that. Okay, so the next step is to cut the inside out of my title, and then we'll be ready to put together our scrapbook page. Okay, so I put together my title, and I added some dimensional adhesive on the back. So just lift it off the page just a bit. And so my background is that craft cardstock with some pattern paper, and this actually was a scrap in my stash that I had made a circle background for my other son's school page, and originally I made it too large and had to cut it down, and this is what was left over. And I did it with a circle cutter, although I easily could have cut it with the Eclips and probably should have, because you can see, well, maybe you can't see on the video, but the edges are a little bit wonky on the inside. But that's okay because I'm going to cover it up with some photos. Just really using that as a bit of color. So these were first day of school last year. I figured I better get them scrapped before school starts this year. And so I think my title will go somewhere like this. And then I decided I need to add another element over here. So for the other element that I want to add, perhaps down on this corner, I found in the starter cartridge, this cartridge actually comes with the Eclips machine, but I found this cute book shape. So there's a book and pencil, and you can cut the pieces separately. So I thought I might add this down in the corner, but if you look, the way the book is angling would be away from the page, and I think I would like it to be facing the other way, or opening up the other way. And so I can use the mirror function in order to cut the reverse image of this. So that's what I'm going to do, and we'll be back and put this together. Okay, and I just wanted to show you quickly how I am going to cut the mirror image of that book shape that I just showed you. I've got the starter cartridge already loaded into my Eclips machine, and I can find the image of the book two ways. First, I can scroll down to shapes and then tab through them, but since I know it's a book, and I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, I'm just going to go ahead and search by typing in book. And there it is. It found the image for me. And in order to get a mirror image, first I'm going to choose what I need to cut. So I'm going to go over to the left menu, scroll down to pieces, because I don't want to cut everything in the picture. I just want to cut that book. And I'm going to go over to the bottom queue. I can cut them all, just the book, or just the pencil. So I'm going to choose the book. The size is at 3 inches, which is fine for me. And before I add it to my cutting queue, I'm going to push this button that says mirror, and then the plus sign, and you'll see that it flipped it for me and added it to my cutting queue. And that's the way I get a mirror image. Very, very simple to do. And my book will open up towards the middle of my page rather than away from my page. And that's what I'm looking to accomplish. Okay, so we're back, and I have my mirror image book that I cut out, and it's now opening towards the center of the page the way that I wanted it. And I also have removed the backing for the dimensional adhesive on my title. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down. And my photos are already adhered. So let's see, I want to overlap it with the picture just a bit. So right about there should be fine. And when you use dimensional adhesive, you actually, on a scrapbook page especially, you need more of it than you think, because if you think about your pages being smashed in a book, you'll end up with a warped title if you don't put enough support under there. So I've got that down, and now I'm going to adhere the book. And I'm using some American Crafts adhesive. I love this, the this to that. This is showing that it's the dots. The refill I have in here is the strips, which is actually my favorite adhesive. Comes off the roll nice and easily, and it's very, very sticky. And so I think I'm going to put that right about here. I want it overlapping the photo just a bit. And then I also cut out the pencil. The book was cut out at 3 inches with the mirror feature, and then I cut the pencil out at 2 inches. The 3-inch pencil was just too overpowering for my page, so I wanted to make a little bit smaller. And then I used my Copic Spica marker to color in the silver part on the pencil, and then my regular Copic markers, I think I used RV00 for the pencil eraser, and so I'm just going to mount that on top of the book. So again, just using my American Crafts strip adhesive here. Let's see, kind of angle it that way, should be fine. So how cute is that? So using the Sizzix Eclips Machine, you can get your scrapbook pages completed so quickly and so easily. I think the only other thing I'm going to add to this page is a little bit of journaling, perhaps a couple of little strips up here, or maybe I'll even write on the book. These pictures were from last year when my son was starting 4th grade, so I was determined to get the scrapbook page done before he starts 5th grade on Wednesday. So looks like I'm almost there, other than a little bit of journaling, and this page will be complete. So easy peasy scrapbook pages with the Sizzix Eclips Machine. Thanks so much for watching today, guys, and I'll see you next time.